Backpack Broadcasting continues to bring you the best original sports content, but now you can get more of the content you love. For as little as $3 a month, you can get access to bonus content, including behind-the-scenes footage and interviews from the Sports Walk, Sideline Stories, or the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. All this exclusive content comes via Patreon. There are tiered levels of patronage, and each Backpack Broadcasting patron receives exclusive perks. Your support helps Backpack Broadcasting create more of the original content that you love. Visit Backpack Broadcasting's Patreon page and become a patron today. It's Thanksgiving time, Thanksgiving weekend. A lot to be thankful for. Happy to be here. And happy to have another podcast.
A lot not to be thankful for also.
What's that? Man, first of all, I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to kill the Thanksgiving energy. I love some Thanksgiving, so I don't hear anything about not to be thankful for.
You know what I'm thankful for?
What are you thankful for?
Our new soundboard.
You see... You see that laugh, people? There's going to be sounds and drops coming in now, and Bryan is going to have too much fun with this. You know what? So I'm going to take back what I said. There are things to not be thankful for, and I'm not thankful for the fact that you have now discovered this.
So are you reacting like...
Oh, that scares me. Yeah, that scares me. That definitely scares me. This whole thing...
I'm not going to overproduce like the Michael K show. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, listeners, I don't trust this with Bryan. Bryan could have the tendency to overproduce and do it. He's too excited. If you're watching the video, you should see his face. He's way too excited about this.
Yeah.
You're just too excited about it.
I'm pretty
You
excited.
are thankful for the soundboard.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I can see
my focus might not be fully focused today.
That was a deep line in itself.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty deep.
It's pretty profound.
It is.
It's pretty damn profound.
I feel like that's going to be clipped for a soundboard.
We should put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yo, we gotta. I have some merch ideas that we gotta talk about off air.
Okay. Hey, but if you're listening to this now, you should also be checking out the Black Friday sale on TeePublic. They have a lot of Backpack Broadcasting gear that you can get. So we're thankful for your support in that. But yeah, Thanksgiving weekend, a lot of food. Love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays.
How long do you keep the turkey as far as like leftovers go? How long do you make it last?
How long do I make it last?
Yeah. Because my dad will make it last like turkey sandwiches the next week.
I feel like the Thanksgiving food is always going through probably like the Monday or Tuesday after Thanksgiving, depending on how much is cooked. A lot of the stuff that I love, at least when I was like at home and stuff, my parents now give me, or families give us to take back home.
Yeah.
We'll probably get through it to maybe the Monday. It doesn't last to the Tuesday, but still have some turkey. For me, the anything like traditional Caribbean food that's gone. So we need the curry goat, the curry chicken. That's gone pretty quickly. I'm lucky if that even makes it to Saturday.
Okay.
That's just because I'm around. I'm not gonna let that make it to Saturday. But the turkey, it's probably going to to do Monday or so. So yeah, I try to make it last. I love the food. I love the family being together. I love trying to reflect on the things you're thankful for. So I love all that.
Some family. We don't got to get into that though.
You should be thankful for your family, but I will co-sign you.
I am.
I'm not saying that you're not.
Some of them.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying you have to be thankful for all your family. There's some family members you'd be like, better off they weren't around. And I understand that.
A lot of them you don't really know. You know what I mean?
I mean, that could be your fault.
Or not.
Or not.
It could be a mutual thing.
Trust me, I understand. I get it.
Yeah, we're on the same page with that. Some other people aren't necessarily, but it's okay.
No, because they just like to generalize things. But overall, I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like I'm the type of person when I see on Instagram or I see on Twitter and somebody posts #family first, and I'm like, sometimes.
Well, I mean, I put my family first.
But, well, yeah,
but we're gonna do #family second.
I mean,
nobody's trying to hear that.
Depends on the day. You is different. You have a daughter. You have, basically a wife. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I mean,
it's a little different.
You still gonna put your mom and dad up there.
No, what do you mean? Wait, what?
They're gonna be part of the first.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I know what you're trying to say, and let's just be more clear about it, is the non-extended family is not necessarily, or the extended family, excuse me, is not necessarily first.
I mean, once you get past the brother, the mother, and the father, there are some cousins and uncles and aunts who I like very much. But
outside of that, you're not going. Yeah, I get you can't go hard for everybody in your family. Everybody's not at the same level.
I don't even know everybody in my family.
I understand that, which is my point. That's why you can't go hard for everybody. Everybody does not fall into that family first umbrella. That's
it's true. And we talked about this before in the podcast. Everyone has friends that they're closer to than their actual family, who they consider family, who feel like immediate family.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like that's a normal thing. So there are people that you're closer to on that level. It doesn't matter if you don't have the same last name. I think that's what it is with people.
Yeah,
same last name, same blood, and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's overrated sometimes. Let's keep it.
No, sometimes it's not true, and I definitely can understand that. No doubt about that. So, but those people, you can also be thankful for. So there's nothing wrong with that. One of the things that what bothers me about Thanksgiving right now, and it's bothered me for like quite a couple of years now, but I'm starting to see it more and more and more creep up.
This can be interesting.
There was a time, and this is gonna make me sound a little bit older, for so you guys who don't know.
Well, when you start off with "there was a time,"
yeah, that's like the old person stuff to say. There was a time.
That's another equivalent to back in my day.
Back in my day,
yeah,
when we did this. I don't want to be that person, but when I was growing up, I remember you did not see a commercial for Christmas, anything Christmas related.
Oh yeah.
Until Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't see it till... I remember getting up. I used to get up, watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yep.
And, you start to see the Hess truck commercials. Hess trucks were...
I wanted one when I was little, and I actually finally got one when I was like 7 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted one because I was a Jet fan, and,
Yeah.
that all kind of...
Now that green and white... Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we ain't got to talk about that.
No, I'll get something with the Jets later in this podcast. I will get to the Jets later in this podcast because I got some stuff for the Jets. I got some stuff to say. I haven't talked too much football this NFL season, but I do have some stuff to say about the Jets.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'll be looking forward to that.
So, yeah, my point was you didn't see these commercials till Thanksgiving Day. And I think there was something that was like, hey, we're going to allow you to enjoy Thanksgiving. Let that happen. And then we go into this Christmas stuff. Now, with everything being so commercialized, and the way you see you sometimes see stuff for Black Friday sales in October. Halloween hasn't even hit, and y'all talking about Black Friday sales.
This reminds me of when I was a student, and you would start to see back-to-school commercials in July. It used to piss me off so much. It used to piss me off to no end because I used to hate school at a certain point, and I didn't want to go back. And you're telling me on July 30th, like, back to school sales starting, August 1st. And it's like, bro, I have a whole month and change before I got to go back.
I'm like, but we got a whole month to sell y'all on these sales.
Yeah, part of growing up is learning that everything is a business. At that point, you don't really know. Then as you get older, you understand.
And that point's fine that everything's a business. But when did we get to the point that we were like, we're going to push this out more? And it feels like that's what is always being done is we're just pushing it more. Sometimes I saw all right, so one of the commercials you always see around Christmas, and I'm not to promote this company, but Lexus, right? Who does these commercials with the December to Remember, and which I think is kind of stupid that they always put a bow on the car. When I was young, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, man. I hope somebody gives me a car and they put a bow on it or whatever. But I'm always like...
You wanted one of those?
Yeah, I wanted a Lex, right? But and then I thought about it and I was like... But what if you got that for somebody or somebody got that for you in Christmas morning or whatever, you happen to look out your window and you just see the car with the bow? Then it's not really a surprise because always in the commercial, it's the person blindfolding the person to bring them outside. And look, I guess they just did it when they just woke up. It's like, hey, honey, you're not going to brush your teeth. You're not going to wash your face. I'm just going to take you outside. Yeah. You're going to see this car.
Yeah.
The bow thing's it's kind of whack to me now. I'm like, nah, man. You don't need to put a bow on the car. If you give me a Lex, I'm probably going to be happy with that. You don't need to put the bow on. The bow's not going to make it any better. Anyway.
It looks good on TV, though.
It does. And it had me as a kid. Anyway, I saw a commercial for that like a week and a half ago. Yeah. It was
Really?
Like, how you doing? You talking about December to Remember?
Yeah.
In November?
Yeah.
Really?
A week and a half ago.
Yeah, it was more about for the holidays you can get. But this is how they did it. They did a kind of flip to it. They were talking about, so they had the whole December to Remember, and they were like, make your Januaries memorable.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, make your December great
no,
again.
No, that made me never want to get a Lexus. They were like, make your Januaries memorable. Make your springtime memorable. And so they were showing this family, and in January you see the family, they're having a little snowball fight.
Yeah.
And, and then you can see the Lexus with the bow still on it in the background. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then you had in the springtime, they were taking the kids to play baseball or something. And then in the summer, they were doing something else. So basically, you're saying is like, get this, have this holiday thing now, and you could do this. And I'm like, yo, we're not even at Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah.
And we're not even there.
It impedes you from enjoying the holiday.
Yes.
That's what it is, because you're always, and this is basically how we are as a society now, you're always looking towards the next thing. You're always looking forward to what's next. So it's like right after Thanksgiving is Christmas. And then right after Christmas, we got to get these Easter sales off. And then right after Easter is something else. Like, that's really how it is. It's just sale.
But it's so, to me, it's so messed up and kind of ironic in a way around Thanksgiving, where you're supposed to have this holiday where you're supposed to try to be thankful for the things you have, but it's like, yo, let's look ahead and see how much you could spend the stuff you have to get more stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, and it's a real holiday. It's not like, not President's Day. What's the Columbus Day? You know what I mean? Where nothing's really on sale and people are already like, that's probably not going to be a holiday in 15 years.
But, I wasch it wasn't a holiday in 15 days. Like that, it shouldn't have been a holiday anyway, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. So. Actually, what's her name? Ocasio-Cortez, she, her first name's Alexandria, excuse me. She actually pointed out, why is Columbus Day a holiday and Election Day not? And I was like, ooh.
Yo, speaking.
By the way, white people are scared of her.
Well.
No offense, Matt.
Well, I think
the Republicans, the Republicans are scared of her.
And she's been getting a lot of heat, just in the since Election Day.
Yeah.
Since you bring that up, that came up as a conversation before recently with somebody, why Election Day is not a holiday. That's a whole other thing we get into, and I think we should have another podcast devoted to and why it's so hard.
With her as a guest.
That would be great. To get people to actually vote, and the fact that we still have this thing where it's like, oh, we're going to open up the polls early. It should just be a day off for everybody.
It should.
Excuse me, where you have the time to just go and vote. You shouldn't have to be like, I need to work this around my work day and like worrying about picking up my kids and then getting to the poll.
Exactly.
It's stupid, and the form of I did some coverage on Election Day. I was out in Harrisburg for AccuWeather doing that, and it made me think about just the whole system of voting, how archaic it is. It's so archaic. Like, how have we not figured out how we could vote online yet? Like, you can have two-step.
Yo! Joe Rogan said the same thing.
Didn't even hear him say, this is just me. Yeah. I've talked about this with other people in the last couple of weeks.
Well, he said, I'm curious to know what you think about this. He said something along the lines of, how are we not voting from our phones now?
Yeah.
Which could be a little more dangerous, but I think that
is it more dangerous than any shopping you do online? No.
I guess not. But, I mean, I think the pushback to that was just sort of, who exactly will be allowed to vote. And I'm like, people who are registered already.
You could still have a registration process.
It would be a lot.
You could then still have a two-step authentication factor process like we have for many other things. That
SB Nation does that. A lot of websites do that.
You can have, so you'd have to log in via your Social Security or whatever, and then you'd have to answer probably a series of questions based on your history of where you live. There's tons of stuff I've done that have been very secure. Some stuff for governmental things.
That's true.
It's ridiculous. Like, you can pay your taxes online or on your phone.
That's true.
But you can't vote.
You could pay bills online, deposit checks online.
And the only reason I even said taxes is because that's something related to the government, and they have a very strict authentication process to do so.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean,
if you can do that, you can vote.
Banks are online now. Think about it. You don't really have to ever go to a bank anymore for most of the things that you had to go to a bank to before. Like, you get a check. You don't have to walk to the bank to go deposit it. You could do it right from your phone. I know because I do this all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I hate it going to the bank anyway.
Yeah. And
you know where else I hate to go? Polling sites.
Oh, jeez. Like my mother, for example, she gets back from work on that day probably like 6:30, after working majority of the day. So there's like a shorter window where it's like, oh man, I can't even go and eat dinner real quick. I got to go vote.
She shouldn't have to do that.
And then by that time, the lines are packed because everyone's doing that. Everyone's getting home roughly around the same time. If you're doing a 9 to 5, you're probably getting home around 6. You're probably gonna have to vote sometime between 7 and whatever time they close. 9
in New York.
Okay.
Not in most other places.
Earlier.
Yes, 8 in some of the other larger states, but most places are 7.
Yeah.
So in this country, so
then if you're working 11 to 7, you got to do it right after or right before. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's very difficult.
What I will say to that, not to get too political, but what I will say to that is, you have to start wondering about why that is that way. Who wants it to be that way? Who wants to stop certain people from having the right to vote in that way?
We saw what happened in Georgia.
Yes, and some of that stuff is whatever. I'll tell you what I'm not thankful for. I'm not thankful for the current voting system. It needs to change. I'm not thankful for that. That can go.
We agree on that.
We agree on that.
We definitely agree on that.
I'm not here for the over commercialization of probably everything, but with Christmas and sort of I feel like Thanksgiving sometimes is just a blip, and we just miss that, and we're on just like you sit down. Like there's people I don't know people this much, but I've known some people who've done this where it's like they're sitting down for Thanksgiving meal, and then they're thinking about how can I get out and get to that Black Friday sale and get on that line.
Yeah,
I'm not here for Black Friday.
Yeah,
I mean I might cop a couple things online.
Oh, I'm getting something. Sale. I'm getting a jacket. Yeah, I need a jacket.
Yo, you know what I got? I'll do this every year. I don't spend as much money as I used to on video games. Quite because of the time. But one thing I do enjoy from Black Friday is PlayStation's Black Friday flash sale. And I just copped that 2K.
Yeah.
Which we're going to have to play sometime.
Oh, yes.
You're probably going to kill me because you had a couple months head start.
What?
I'm probably going to start playing.
I don't feel like I'm as sharp on 2K this year.
It's okay.
Probably a timing.
But it was half off. And you get some of the sports games for half off.
I used the Knicks recently.
Why?
Tim Hardaway Jr. is awful to use in that game, man.
Don't tell that to Greg.
Oh, man. In that game. I like Tim Hardaway Jr. as a player, and thank you for the fantasy points, Tim, if you're watching or listening.
Fantasy. We'll get to that too.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's here. We are thankful. Obviously we are now at this 20-game mark into getting close to that 20-game mark in the NBA.
Yeah. Getting close to that double nickel mark on the AHTT podcast episode.
That is right. I don't like double nickel. I hate that. I hate that term. Obviously for many reasons why. Yeah. I can still remember the night that happened. If you don't know, kids, look up double nickel Knicks Bulls. You'll find it out. Google.
And then you'll react the same way that Mike Scotto did one time on the podcast, and the same way Dexter will react right now.
No. We're not here for that.
Yeah, I'm not here for that. Oh, before we go, we're about to go to NBA. We cannot. I'd be remiss if we leave without this point about Bryan. Last year, we did a Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And this guy had the nerve to mention the fact of this. Please get this ready. Please let the people hear what it is that you actually had to say about stuffing.
You can filibuster while I go find it.
Yeah, he's trying to find it, but this guy made a comment about stuffing, which I didn't understand.
All right. For example, people are crazy about stuffing.
Oh, I love stuffing. Oh man. Oh, you're out of your mind. Now, if you come correct
depends.
And your stuffing is good. Now, my mom makes excellent stuffing. My future mother-in-law makes great stuffing. She made the stuffing actually. It was on point. I love it. I had the last of it last night. Damn, I'm thinking about it now. I wish I didn't finish that. But
yeah, because you said you were hungry before we started recording.
I love stuffing.
See, I backed up a little bit. I was like, it depends.
I don't like how you ended on me. That sounded like crazy. Like, I love stuffing. Now I listen back to that. I'm like, sounds like drunk off of stuffing or something.
Hey, man, 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man. What are you still hating on the stuffing this year?
Nah, it depends. Maybe I need to have some of y'all stuffing, in the Henry household. I think that's probably what it is.
That might be what it is. All right. This guy was a stuffing hater, and I was like, whatever.
It's not the thing. It's definitely not the thing that I look forward to the most on Thanksgiving. What did you have? Like, what do you typically have in your household?
I mean, stuffing's there, turkey. You know what's funny? I feel like the turkey just never gets touched that much as everything else.
I get a giant turkey leg.
Mac and cheese. I'm not crazy about legs on chicken or turkey, so that's a whole
Really?
other thing. I think it's the worst part of chicken.
Really?
Or turkey, yeah.
Interesting. I know it's the smallest part.
I'll take a breast or thigh any day.
I agree with that.
Nothing's better than turkey or chicken breast.
But I used to like the legs a lot because they were easier to eat, but that was just back in the day.
Nah.
Now I want more chicken.
You give me
know
a
what I
leg,
mean?
I'm probably gonna be like, boop, pass that over.
Yeah. You ever had the KFC bucket of grilled chicken?
Yes.
Legs are really small.
Yeah.
Really, really small. It's so annoying too. It's like so annoying because it's like, yo, and if you notice, I wonder if this is not a mistake. It's probably not. Their fried chicken much bigger than their grilled chicken, just portion wise.
They want you to eat more unhealthy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Eat that fried
I
chicken.
have an issue with media food that kind of placates to that also, but we don't have to get into that.
We talked about media food before. We can get back into that at some point.
Ooh, Barclays Center.
All right, so you want?
Lately, they've been
dropping the ball.
Oh man, we had Chinese food the other day. I was not happy about that. Yeah, just straight up Chinese food.
Was it good?
No, I mean to me it wasn't. It was like orange chicken and vegetable brown fried rice and with some eggs inside. But it was not like it would have been better from the deli by my house. Not the deli, but the Chinese food next to the deli by my house.
I'm sure it would have been.
And I don't eat Chinese food anymore because I don't like it. We discussed this before. I don't like eating foods that make me feel like I can't fight afterwards.
Why? This always just come back to violence. Why would you want to fight afterwards?
It's an energy thing.
No. I could have seen if you said, "Oh, if I need to move afterwards, I need to run." Why do you have to be violent? Why do you want to
running
fight?
to? You know, it's just an energy thing.
I don't think this beef is as serious as people are making it out to be. A lot of the controversies come around with how the Warriors handled it and fighting and suspending Draymond Green without pay.
Yeah.
But I looked at it like, look, man, the Warriors, they don't want to lose Kevin Durant. What are they? Of course they're gonna find.
Why would you want to? He's an all-time. Oh, we were okay. Me, Gerard Hector, friend of the show, and Jamal Murphy, who will be on this podcast at some point, along with others.
This is going to a debate that I think shouldn't be even a debate. And I probably know what this is.
It was a couple of different debates. One of them was Kevin Durant, and Larry Bird, right? Kevin Durant, Larry Bird, who's better, who ranks higher all time. Another one it brought on to was where Kevin Durant's place is all time, top 10, top 15, whatever. And people may say that, and people may hear that and roll their eyes because the Golden State move, makes them stupid. But he's still all time great.
Those are two good questions, actually.
And then there was Durant versus Kobe. That was the other one. Yeah.
I'm a Kobe fan. So I'm a Kobe
I don't know
fan.
if you want to get back on the other part of this.
Those are very interesting.
I want to bring
questions.
Jamal and Gerard in so we can.
I don't want to delve into it, but they're very good questions. Sometimes people bring up these questions as talking points, and they're not that good. And I'm like, that's a stupid question. These are good. They're actually good questions. Durant versus Larry Bird thing. I'm gonna just give them a quick takes on this. Durant versus Larry Bird. Are we talking about who's the better player?
Yes.
In terms of talent?
We were just talking about who's better, yeah.
Kevin Durant.
Easily.
Like
Easily.
Larry Bird is great, and Larry Bird is absolutely
a
positively top 10. Not even there's no question to me about that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm also, and when I say that, I want to say that because Larry Bird's legacy is cemented and Kevin Durant's still writing his. So the answer to part of the other question is Kevin Durant in the top 10. I think he's probably somewhere in the top 15. I'm not putting him in the top 10 yet.
I might.
But if you did, I don't think that's crazy.
I might.
So and the last, what was the other question?
It was 3. It was Kevin Durant or Larry Bird. Me and Gerard both went Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Jamal went Larry Bird.
Okay, we'll talk to him about that.
And we were saying that basically Durant.
I got the last question. The last question was Kobe.
The only thing Durant's not better than Larry Bird at is passing. Was basically what we were saying.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The Kobe thing. All right.
We went Durant. Jamal went Kobe.
I love Kobe.
Yeah.
Everyone knows me. I love Kobe.
Yeah.
I know I got into this with a bunch of other people and talking about this and Kobe and different things.
Yeah.
Robin Lundberg, Kobe over LeBron, that whole debate. Durant could be if you wanted to. He is not peak Kobe defense. He ain't that. Kobe's defense. People gotta remember
Kobe's a better defender. Yeah.
First team All NBA defense 11 times.
Although Gerard did argue that he's an overrated defender, but there's that.
I don't understand that.
We will bring Gerard back.
We will have to talk about that when I see if I don't understand that. In terms of pure flat out scoring ability on his height, shot, and everything, Kevin Durant's like probably the 2 or 3 best scorers of all time.
Maybe.
Like pure scoring ability?
Yeah.
Like
he's averaging 27 for his career. And this is on teams where he's played with Russell Westbrook, who obviously has an absurd usage rate. And then with not just Curry, but with also Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? Like with and Draymond Green too, although he's not an offensive.
Dude's flat out 2 of the 3 best scorers you've probably ever seen in NBA history. I don't even, like, you're gonna say Jordan, him, Kareem. How are you not talking about that? Just talk about people.
New Yorkers are putting Melo up there.
Melo's up there. Melo's one of the best scorers I ever put there. You could also say like George Gervin, the Iceman is, but he's not. Those people are not quite in that stratosphere. I'm putting like there's a.
So you don't think Melo's the second best scorer you've ever seen, like most Knicks fans do?
And what those Knicks fans all say? Bernard King's the best scorer they've ever seen. Shut up.
They're not.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. Yes, I will agree with myself. It's absolutely stupid. No. Second best score you've ever seen? No, like the guys I'm talking about, they could score in their sleep.
Yeah. My thing with Durant, and this is the big part of why we were taking Durant over Kobe, was that he's way more efficient. Just across the board,
and that's
there's
fair.
something to be said for that. Way more efficient and always a better three-point shooter. Because Kobe wasn't really that good of a three-point shooter until like later on he became better. But him and Michael Jordan, in many respects, not great three-point shooters.
No, they weren't. I think what you like, and this comes to how you value this, whether you overrate it or not, the Kobe people are going to love his leadership, his fiery.
The Mamba mentality.
The Mamba mentality. I do love, but I love the Mamba mentality. I think Mamba mentality.
It depends. It depends.
I love it. I think you have to. I think the Mamba mentality.
I admire the theory of shooters shoot to a point.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean? Don't shoot me out of a game.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're 6 of 16, I don't need you to go 6 of 24 in an effort to finally find that shot. I'm good. I'm cool.
But see, when it depends on how you look at that. The guy like Kobe, if that guy is 6 of 24, but the ball's in his hands for the last shot of the game, yeah, because Kobe's got that Mamba mentality. I still trust him. I do. I still trust him. There's not that many people I trust. I would
need to know who's on his team.
That is a factor. Now, let me. I'm glad you brought up that point.
Yeah.
If Smush Parker and some other folks.
Well, here's the thing. If you're talking about the 05 to 07 Lakers, as in pre-Pau Gasol, and this is when Kobe was MVP candidate, averaged 35. That was around the time he dropped 81 in the game.
Yep.
Who else was on that team? No. You know what I mean?
Who else did you want to shoot?
Yeah, he had major help on those rings he won, but I mean, I'm not saying that to knock him.
Everybody does.
Those were better teams, so he didn't have to do those things. Is why I bring that up. But even if he's on that team with Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and Andrew Bynum, would I prefer Kobe take the last shot? Yeah, probably.
Listen. I'm a Kobe fan, huge Kobe fan. I don't have a problem if somebody says they take Kevin Durant over Kobe because I can see the points for it.
Yeah, but my thing is Kobe fans, not you.
Yeah, I know.
But you know what?
Man, I look
so hard on the other side.
There are look. It's just like
that's the part of the Mamba mentality that trips me
I love
up.
the Mamba mentality. I live by some things in the Mamba mentality.
It depends. Okay? It depends. It's selective. You want to break down? we should have a whole podcast breaking down the Mamba mentality.
There's certain things I love about that. I love that killer instinct. I love players with that mentality. But I think that with that mentality, when you have that, there has to come a maturity about it. Mm-hmm. Like I think Russell Westbrook has a Mamba mentality, but I still hold on, let me finish. But I still think there's a level of maturity that still has to come with it. People like to look at certain things from certain eras, but not look at how it affected things and then see how people evolved it. Even Kobe's Mamba mentality evolved in his older years. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the Mamba mentality is all good from 05 to 07 when you ain't got nobody else around you that you trust to shoot. Or not trust to shoot. I wouldn't want to shoot. I don't want to pass him the ball.
Look, sometimes out of necessity, it's better to do things yourself because you know they're going to get done.
But, bruh, watching Kobe from 05 to 07, does anybody remember Kobe-uary? Does anybody remember those February months where he was going
Kobe-uary.
Kobe-uary. I remember, no, seriously, in 05 to 07, in the month of February, look at Kobe's numbers in those months.
Bro, I was not trying to. I was not trying.
Insane. And then when he dropped the 81 see, one thing people don't give Kobe credit for in the 81, and I think I said this with Robin Ludberg.
This is going to be interesting.
They don't give him credit for is how efficient that 81 points that he scored was.
Yeah.
It was so efficient, man.
And it was rare for him because he doesn't always have those big scoring games where he's very efficient.
And it was in the flow of the game. It wasn't like he was just jacking shots. He was in the flow of the game.
Yeah.
It's a game I actually have downloaded on a hard drive.
Yeah.
So it makes me sound like I'm in that like crazy Kobe stand.
You
place.
have it downloaded?
Yeah, I do. I have that game downloaded. This is before I had like.
Why do you have it in your hard drive?
Because I could go back and watch that greatness anytime. That's just nasty. No, what he did to the Raptors, that was nasty. And you shouldn't want to watch that greatness anytime. Man. Some Knicks fan has Carmelo's 62-point game at the Garden against the Hornets a couple years ago.
Oh, God. I mean.
It's holiday season, which means it's time to stock up on your favorite Backpack Broadcasting gear. Shop at the Backpack Broadcasting TeePublic store via the store link on backpackbroadcasting.com and enjoy the Black Friday deals from November 21st to 24th. And that's not all, guys. There's also a Cyber Monday sale from November 25th to 28th. Now you can cop some tees for as low as $14 or even save up to 30% off on gear from your favorite Backpack Broadcasting shows, including the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. There's something for everyone this holiday season at the Backpack Broadcasting store. You don't take this Warriors beef that serious.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
Yeah, thanks for taking us down the Kevin Durant rabbit hole.
No, because of the people involved. I mean, I think Kevin Durant's out anyway. That's just my sort of inkling on that. One thing I did overlook throughout this whole sort of Golden State situation, Klay Thompson, restricted free agent. Unrestricted free agent at the end of the season.
Yep.
So this can get out of hand pretty quickly. Just in terms of, I think they're still winning the championship this year. So I will say that much. I still think they're winning the championship this year, just on the basis of nobody else can challenge them, in my opinion. Roster-wise, Houston got worse. Utah not as good as I thought they were going to be. So far, still early. I still think they could be good, but they're not realistically challenging Golden State. Boston, not really sure what they're gonna give. The rest of the East.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait to see.
We'll see. Toronto. I do like Philly. I could see Philly coming out of the Eastern Conference with Jimmy Butler.
I don't.
I could. I don't know if I'd make that argument, but I could. I still like Boston to come out of the East. I do like Toronto. I like how Serge Ibaka.
I like how Toronto's playing.
I like how Serge Ibaka's looks so far. He needs to be that third guy for them. They really need that, and obviously, Kawhi Leonard, what he's doing. Milwaukee's interesting too, but as far as challenging Golden State, I don't really see that. However, after the season, because people love the offseason just as much as they love the regular season when it comes to the NBA. Probably more, especially if your team sucks. But Golden State, you're looking at Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant hitting free agency after all this is going down, and it kind of already has looked like, even beforehand, even when Kevin Durant got there, it looked like this was a rental, probably 2 years. You know what I mean? Like a couple short-term contracts, get a couple rings, we out of here. Kind of like what LeBron did to Miami. I mean, looking at it now, it kind of looks like he's going to depart. Klay Thompson, I'm not sure. But what if Klay Thompson really wanted to just ball out?
I don't think he's going to. Klay Thompson.
You wouldn't see him going to, I don't know who would give him the money off the top of my head. But a team like maybe the Clippers, they're going to lose Tobias Harris. Maybe the Clippers want to throw a lot of money at Klay Thompson. And then what happens with Golden State with just Steph Curry and Draymond Green? And Jordan Bell. And the rest of that bench.
That's a 6 seed in the playoffs.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't think Klay Thompson's leaving. I don't think that's happening.
Draymond Green's going to have to do more than 7, 7, and 7.
And Draymond Green will be...
and anchoring the defense. Yes, a great defensive player, can guard all 5 positions, all that stuff. But
yeah,
in a position where he has to do more, I don't think your team is that good. I think he's perfect for them and what they want to do.
I agree with that.
That's another argument that we had, some of us, in my group chat.
But that's also the reason why, to bring it back, that's also the reason why Katie was right. You got to give him the damn ball there. With no Steph on the floor, you got to give him the ball.
But this is what sparked that argument, was this whole situation with Kevin Durant and with Draymond Green. And the argument was, who is more valuable to that team, Kevin Durant or Draymond Green?
How's that a question?
Who would you rather lose, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green.
How is this a question?
That's what I was saying. I was like,
It's
you
not even
easily would rather have
Kevin Durant.
You'd rather have Kevin Durant easily.
You know.
I get it, Draymond. Like, look, I love intangibles. I like guys who don't necessarily put up big numbers. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate Patrick Beverley's game, even though he's kind of a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, Draymond Green, what?
No, I'm laughing.
Yeah,
I'm laughing at that.
I'm just.
Yeah, hey, here's all you need to know.
I had an interaction with him, so I could say that.
You know who else agrees that Kevin Durant's more valuable? The Warriors ownership, because they fined Draymond Green. They put a nip. They nipped that.
They suspended him.
They suspended him.
Game.
Fined and suspended him for a game because they're like, look. You can say people are making this whole thing about them taking sides. Yeah, they are taking sides. They're taking the side of we want Kevin Durant back here because he's the most valuable asset to our team outside of Steph Curry, that we can have those two together. If they lose Draymond Green, I'm just being honest. It's a lot easier to find another Draymond Green.
That's what I said. That was my whole point. I was like, look, it's a lot easier. Are you going to find the exact one? No. However, I can take somebody like a Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and it won't be a tremendous drop-off. He won't be able to run the offense in the exact same way. I know their games are a little bit different. But he's somebody who can defend those positions. He's somebody who offensively actually better than Draymond Green. And he's somebody who can pass the ball.
I like Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green is a fantastic player.
But what I'm saying is it's closer to find a comparison to Draymond Green
than it is to find Kevin Durant.
Than it is to find Kevin Durant, who we just established is maybe a top 10 player ever. Probably definitely a top 15 player ever.
Definitely a top 3 scorer ever.
And definitely a top 3 scorer ever.
How? Yeah, I don't even. Why is that a question? That's one of those questions. Is like, why is it even a question?
But Draymond Green is one of those dudes where his legacy, so to speak, is going to be, in some cases, overvalued because of what he's done with Golden State, and in other cases, undervalued just because people look at numbers.
Yeah, like I feel like Draymond Green.
I feel like Draymond Green's one of those players where people are definitely on one side of the spectrum, but very much so, and people are on the other side of the spectrum, but just to a whole nother degree. Yeah. He's not like there's not. Like, the nuance is just one way or another entirely.
Yeah, now speaking of that issue, Kevin Durant also was asked the day when Draymond came back after all this went down. Draymond sat out a game, and then he asked him about it, and Kevin Durant snapped back at a reporter and said, don't ask me about what's going on in his relationship with Draymond. He snapped at the reporter. Your thoughts on that? Because there's this whole thing in the relationship between reporters and players. I think people take things a little bit too sensitive on both sides. I think some reporters take things. Look, reporters have every right to ask the question. The players can choose not to answer it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think they're here to answer all of your questions. If they don't want to answer it, that's fine. Some reporters, I think, take it a little bit too personal. Like, oh, man, he didn't answer my question. Oh, man, he didn't give me a soundbite. Like,
do you want to hear what Stephen A. said about this?
Maybe he didn't want to.
Do you want to hear what Stephen A. said about this?
Yes.
Since we can.
See, this is moments like this where I really, really miss being a reporter. Did you imagine if he sat up there and you gonna tell me how to do my job? You gonna tell me not to? I can understand you not commenting. I can understand you saying no comment. I can understand you saying you're not talking about that no more. You gonna look a reporter in the face and tell him, don't ask me again, like you gonna do something if he did ask you? Man, there's moments like that where I really, really, really miss being that guy at that report at the press. Can you imagine? If you gonna dare me to ask you, I'd have shut everybody down and asked the same question over and over.
Word.
Like, what you think you gonna do if I ask you? What you talking about? You don't have to answer, but you gonna tell me what to ask and what not to ask? So in other words, you on the bench and you upset because you didn't go hard at Draymond, but you gonna go hard at a reporter. It's just,
So Stephen A. I feel like Stephen A. there just kind of raised my blood pressure by going through that. But here's the thing. Let me say this.
He needs to get a checkup first of all. I hope he's okay.
I feel him on that though, right?
I agree. Yeah.
So here's the one thing about it. It's kind of like you ever have these situations where you talk to people and they're like, "Yo, man, they better do this or else." Especially when it's somebody on, and I'll look at them and be like, "Or else what?"
Oh,
or what?
Well, you've seen me get in that sort of confrontation before with a security guard at our old establishment. You've seen that happen.
No. But people be like, they better do this, or this needs to happen, or what? And I'll be like, or else what? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yo, this is also funny when you go out to eat something with somebody,
you report.
and you go out to eat with somebody, and they're like, yo, this food better be good, or else. Or else what?
Yeah.
You're just not gonna like it?
Yeah.
That's all that's gonna happen. Here's what Stephen A. is right. I will say on that. He kind of brought up the point that I just said. I can understand where a player doesn't want to answer a question. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Don't really care about it. Not going to hurt my feelings. I've been in locker rooms where people didn't necessarily want to answer a question. My feelings are not hurt about it. I'm going to sleep just fine. But for you to tell me what I can and can't not ask as if I'm not a grown man there asking it to you,
Yeah.
I kind of feel that I would have been like, what I would have said is I wouldn't have probably repeated the question. I would have been like, yeah, but I did just ask it, and you chose not to answer it, so that's it. I looked at Kevin Durant and said that exactly that, but I asked it. Okay.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna go talk to the PR and have me kicked out? Here's the thing.
Honestly.
But it does. Here's what matters, though. Stephen A. has the right to puff his chest out and come back like that. And I do believe at the age he is now, with the amount of years they had in his game, I don't think he's just talking that talk.
No, I think he would do it.
He would
I
keep
think he
that.
definitely
I
would
do think he would keep that same energy.
Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, that comes with your certain place as a reporter and where you're standing.
Because I probably couldn't get away with that. As much as I would like to, and as much as I almost have, probably couldn't get away with that.
And that's your awareness of being where you stand in the game.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't
For now.
Wait.
Yeah. Mother effers.
Don't sleep 10 years from now because Bryan might
10 months.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and I also would like to be clear. I don't think Stephen A. saying, I don't think Bryan's saying that if somebody did this to them, that means they're going to elevate their voice and yell, because there is a way to look at somebody right in their eye as another adult and let them know, oh no.
True.
I'm not here for play. I could simply look at that person and be like, but I did ask that question.
Yeah.
Is there a problem?
Yeah.
Now, basically what I'm saying is, what you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, you going to come over here and tell me something in this scrum? And here's the thing about the player that makes it a little bit corny. It's real easy, bruh, to say that in front of a whole bunch of other reporters standing around in the scrum.
Yep.
But would
Cameras on.
But would you really say that to me one-on-one?
One-on-one.
Is Kevin Durant really walking up to Stephen A., the other reporter, and being like, hey, man, don't ask that question again? You know why? Because you're not going to go and tell another grown man to not ask that question again. You know, no disrespect to Kevin Durant or any other players, most of y'all ain't built like that. So stop it.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say on that.
Man, there's more.
I don't know what that was to Stephen A. Stephen A. sounded like, he's like, oh, I just want to grab him by the neck. And Stephen A., who's good mentor and friend, I hope he's okay. But I feel what he's saying. I do understand where he's coming from.
And I think that he is also not for play. But, you know, to your point.
Don't sleep on Stephen A.
To your point.
From these streets of Hollis, Queens. Don't sleep on the man.
And to your point, status does have something to do with that.
Status allows you to say that. Carmelo Anthony, I think it's how I feel about the whole situation is I think it's kind of sad because I think there's been this contingency of people who've blamed Melo for the problems of Houston, and I would like to be clear on this, that the issues that Houston has had this year, both offensively and defensively,
Not his fault.
It's not Melo's fault.
No.
You know what? You know who I blame for all of this with Houston?
Front office?
Front office and ownership. Daryl Morey in the front office, who did not want to go into luxury tax, so they did not pay Trevor Ariza, and you're missing Trevor Ariza. Now, Carmelo Anthony, I want to be fair. Does Carmelo Anthony have limitations defensively? And I'm probably being nice with that. Yes, he does. Carmelo, before he was released, the last 4 or 5 games, was shooting the ball actually really well, doing well as a spot-up shooter. Another thing that I'm not going to fully take credit for it, but I was recently listening to an episode of Bomani Jones, the Right Time podcast. He brought up some stats which showed Carmelo has actually reduced his amount of mid-range shots over the last 3 to 4 seasons. So if anything, he has actually been changing his game offensively.
Yeah.
And there are stats that prove that he's been taking less shots from 16 to 20 feet in that range, and he's been taking more shots at the basket and from three-point. The problem last year was he didn't shoot the ball well. The problem was the start of this year, he didn't shoot the ball well, but as recently he was shooting the ball well.
He killed the Nets in that one game in Brooklyn where he had like 28, I think it was.
The issue is, and to some degree I will give the Rockets credit, they realize he's actually hurting our team more because we can't have lineups where he can actually defend and we can't switch and defend, but it still comes back to the first problem I mentioned, right? You didn't pay Trevor Ariza. You didn't bring back to some lesser degree Luke Mbah a Moute, and that's the issue. So now you're playing Gary Clark, who's come and played well from the G League
Yeah.
and is now playing well. This is not Carmelo didn't kill Houston. Carmelo did what he was asked to do. Now, he may not fit there, and that's a fair point, and that's fine. The question is, where is he going to play?
That's what I was going to say is that the big thing, I don't think people realize aging is hard, especially if you're a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I don't think he could really accommodate to he could accommodate to the way Vince Carter did or Dirk Nowitzki is doing, where these guys are able to last just by changing their roles and taking less of a responsibility offensively and things of that nature, becoming more of a mentor in a lot of cases. I don't know if that's in him. It doesn't seem like he is. It seems like he wants to win, but it seems like he wants to play more than anything else. And I'm not sure how do you accommodate the aging star who is no longer a star but thinks he's a star. That's like the hardest thing to do in sports as far as a front office is concerned.
See, I think that I'm not sure this. I don't know anything on it. I'm not sure it's much as about that in this situation because I think dude actually was accommodating his game. I'm not necessarily sure it's about starting or putting on the bench. I like the fact that he has tried to be as more of a spot-up shooter, move and be well without the ball. I'm sure that was hard for Melo. I'm sure that was somewhat of a transition. The thing I think for him is, so I do think it's some of what you're saying. He's got to find a place where he can go.
Yeah.
I think he can get some minutes, but he still need his instant offense. There's a couple places I've thought about where it could work for him.
Like where? Because I
Portland.
can't. That's interesting.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Here's the thing with Portland. Portland's already really good defensively.
Yeah.
They've been defensively good 2 seasons
They've been
in a row.
defensively better than I thought they were going to be
But
even this year.
That's a place.
But Portland's issue, I think, is that Nurkic is not like an elite big man. And I feel like in order to be a championship contender, to complement an elite guard or an elite backcourt, which they have, you need an elite big man or at least a very, very good big man. I don't think Nurkic is that.
I think the problem is Nurkic is adequate offensively. He's not that good defensively. He doesn't rebound well enough or protect the rim for you. Melo is.
I don't know what he does there.
I think Melo could come off the bench there, still
Okay.
get 25 minutes a night and give them some good punch off the bench.
13 to 15 points a game.
Yeah, I think he could do that.
Okay.
And I think their bench could still use sort of a punch
Yeah.
that I think he could provide.
He can
and
get some rebounds too.
and a guy late who could like create a shot from you if you needed to. I think there he could play well.
Where else have you thought about? I instantly thought about the Lakers, even though that's not going to happen.
Oh, because I thought that was going to be the first rumor for him. But
I think that was publicly shot down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the Warriors,
which surprised me. But
the Warriors, I think it's interesting because they have a roster spot open.
Oh God.
I want to address one thing real quick, and I texted you about this the other day, so you probably know where I'm going on this, but you look like you don't.
I probably will when
Remember
you
I texted
start.
you? Remember I texted you the person that put out that dumb article that I did not like about where I thought Melo should go to?
Okay.
Melo going back to the Knicks. The ridiculous contingent. I don't remember who wrote this article for SB Nation, but the article was stupid. And if you want to come at me for that, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to call the article what it is. It's clickbait journalism, if that even is journalism. You just want to do this so people be like, oh, there's somebody who said Melo could come back to the Knicks. Because you're the kind of people, and there's fans who buy this, you guys need a happy fairy tale ending to everything.
Yeah, there's a good amount of that on SB Nation, which is why I try to separate. Like, hey, there is some real journalism at SB Nation.
There is.
If you read
I'm
Nets
not coming
Daily,
at
for
that.
example, Nets Daily has a lot of real stuff.
But this stuff I got to call out for what it is.
Yeah,
and
so does SB Nation.
I'm
But
not-
to
I'm
your
not
point,
coming-
yeah, there's definitely there used to be more clickbait. You know
But
what I
that's
mean?
clickbait.
Bleacher Report was the same. Like they used to be terrible with that stuff.
Yeah, but come on, people. You're
Yeah.
selling it to the Knicks fans who want to believe this. I'm not anti-Melo. I like Melo. I've always liked Melo. I appreciate I think Melo was a pretty good Knick. He didn't have a lot of help around him, a good front office stability. I'm not anti-Melo. There's no need for Melo to come back to the Knicks. The Knicks are doing the right thing right now,
Agreed.
developing young players. You do not need – somebody's going to say, well, Melo could give them veteran leadership. To do what? To do what? Take minutes away from Kevin Knox or Damian Dotson?
That's the main thing is that, look, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. The Knicks are doing the right thing for once. You know, it seems like they have the right people in place with Fizdale, with Mills, with Scott Perry. And then you got Damian Dotson's getting playing time. Lonzo Trier's getting playing time. Frank Ntilikina is getting playing time. Mitchell Robinson's starting. Kevin Knox is back. You got all these young guys who should be exciting the fan base, and the fans seem pretty excited that these guys are playing, why aren't you just letting them grow instead of? I mean, not that they're gonna get Melo or anything like that, but why not just let them grow and just keep going the route you're going?
I think the fact
they're terrible. They have a terrible win-loss record, and they should have a terrible win-loss record. Watch some Duke games, and then, you're just doing the right thing as a front office. I don't think that Melo going there makes a lot of sense or any sense really. Even from a mentorship role, I don't care if he's on the roster, just sitting on the bench with them, never playing. It just does not make a lot of sense. But and what did I tell you when you texted me that?
I don't even remember.
I told you.
I probably was just thinking about stupid articles.
No, because you agreed with me. Because you were talking about the feel-good aspect of it that this article was trying to say, and that other Knicks fans have sort of bought into. And I said that feel-good is overrated in sports business.
Yeah, but
it doesn't make any sense.
Feel good is nice when you have actual farewell toss. Feel good is nice when you have Dwayne Wade in Miami or Dirk.
It wasn't feel good. It was a different term, but it was something along those lines. And I'm going to find it right now because I feel like it was.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't feel good. But that article is I was like, this is stupid. Like, this is so stupid. And it's one of those, like, let me show you how smart I've thought this out so we can have a happy ending. And it's like, nah, man. It's
sentimental. You said because I also hate when Knicks fans have this kind of sentimental thinking. Yeah. And then I said LMAO, sentimental-ish gets you nowhere in business. Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's not always about, let's make the fans. You know what the fans want to see? Winning. The real fans. We want to see winning. I don't want to see Melo will have his day when he comes back to the Garden. Yeah. And maybe he'll think about retiring his jersey.
He'll be their version of what Allen Iverson is to the Sixers now.
And that's nice.
Yeah.
But we'll save the sentimental stuff for that day. I think it would be really messy if you went down to D.C. I kind of want to see the mess down there. But I don't think you know what place I saw that wouldn't be bad for me that I thought about? And I'm like, they could use him and he might.
Denver? Back to Denver?
I think they're okay. They get. But that's an interesting place for him coming off the bench, but I would also say no.
They have Isaiah Thomas coming soon.
Charlotte. How about Charlotte?
Oh, Jesus. Somebody help Kemba, please.
Yeah, but I don't know if he could. But
that's what I'm saying. Is like that wouldn't be bad. I'm like,
not.
Somebody please help Kemba
I think
Walker.
It makes more sense than even Miami.
God, I wish they traded him last year.
I could see Miami too, but I think it would make.
I could always see Miami.
I see it makes more. I think it makes more. Another team that could now use somebody that can probably put the ball in the basket just a little bit, even though the team is really bad defensively. Minnesota, but they need defense. That's not really what they need. I could see that happening there.
I mean, I don't know if you need that much defense in the NBA anymore, since you're not allowed to touch each other. And you're seeing 120-point games all the time. I
think the rules will come back and adjust. You still need defense.
Hopefully.
It will.
But, Jesus Christ, man.
I'm not. Well, I saw somebody the other day put a Facebook post, which was probably attention-getting too. It was, now every night somebody's scoring 40, 50, and 60 points in the NBA. And I was like, you don't watch the NBA. That's not true.
Not every night. But I will say that Tim Hardaway Jr. probably shouldn't be averaging close to 25 points a game.
Or maybe
Granted, I will say this much. Of the top 30 scorers in the NBA, I believe I'm right on this because I looked this up very recently. Of the top 30 scorers in the NBA, all of which have 20 or more points, or like 19.9 or more points, Tim Hardaway Jr., the lowest field goal percentage in the NBA of those elite scorers.
And that's a product of him scoring on a bad team. You also have to look at who people play with sometimes.
Oh, no, 100%. But that's why I'm saying is that because this was another thing that we've talked about in our group chat. I got to bring some of these people on. And this is before Karis LeVert got hurt. All of us, except one person, was saying Karis LeVert over Tim Hardaway Jr. long term.
Did you see what happened in the first Knicks game of the season? Karis LeVert.
They were Michigan teammates. And even then, when Karis LeVert was a bench player, I mean, come on.
I don't understand how that's some of the stuff in that group chat, I don't understand how that's a question. Like, I don't understand this question.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably a better scorer right now. But I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I like better in terms of Karis LeVert right now. Although I'm going to give Tim Hardaway Jr. credit, he's been a lot better at this in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know what's happening. His shot selection's got a lot better. I've hated his shot selection.
He reads Twitter. That's probably what it is.
Well, if that's what it took. So I will give him credit. If Tim Hardaway Jr. improved his shot selection consistently, if I see this, come talk to me in February how I feel about Tim Hardaway Jr. Then I'm like, yo, man, he's been really good the whole season with his shot selection. But I think right now, Karis LeVert's shot selection and ability to attack the rim seems better than him.
Way more efficient.
All the teams now have released their City Edition jerseys. And I think that still, again, for the second year in a row, there's nothing is better than Miami City Edition jerseys.
Oh,
They are
100%.
so good.
100%.
They are so good. Like, this to me, this is what you should do with the City Edition jerseys.
When-
You get one, it works, and then you tweak it and maximize everything you can out of it, right? So Miami had the white ones last year. They looked clean as hell. Then they got the dark ones that look dope as hell too, right? And what I love is, how about that court? I feel like Miami City Edition jerseys are so good. They are so good that they should just get rid of their regular jerseys.
Yo,
That's
agreed.
how good they are.
Agreed.
Like, they're so, like, you know what I have to say? If I was playing, I wouldn't even be able to play. I'd just be looking at a jersey like, damn, the trim is nice. Yo, this court is nice.
Yo.
Like, just the teal with the bright pink and the black, or whether you put it with the white.
Yeah.
It's just, their jerseys are sexy.
Yo.
You got to look back. Damn, stop playing with me with those jerseys.
Yo, for real. I agree. There are some other ones. We'll get to this.
For example,
I have the list.
I loved Philly's jersey last year
Let me send
with
this
the
to you.
parchment paper. I absolutely love those. And I'm pulling up the entire list here as we speak. But there are some that, you know, I know some people love some and some people have hated some. I love Miami. I just have to give them credit for doing it again. I like the Nuggets. I also like the Timberwolves.
I like that one.
Prince Purple Rain tribute.
I like that one.
Fantastic.
I kind of like the Lakers one.
I do not like that.
Really?
I do not like the dark. I do not like the pinstripes.
You're a LeBron hater.
I don't like. No, I don't like it. The Laker one, I don't. I'll tell you which one I think is absolutely awful.
Dallas?
Didn't care for that.
Okay.
It's better than what they had last year.
Okay.
Cleveland.
Oh, agree.
The Cleveland one is.
Cleveland. Yo.
The court looks good. The jerseys.
Every time LeBron leaves, they get terrible jerseys.
Every time LeBron leaves, they also get terrible.
That is being cut and put in our joint reel.
I mean, it's true though.
It is true. These are like supposed to be some sort of remix to the Brevin Knight era Cleveland Cavaliers. Remember when they had like the
Yes.
blue and orange?
Terrell Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that era.
Brevin Knight is a player that I really liked back in the day.
Yep.
I loved his defense and his passing ability, and he was also undersized. So you know we got to stick together. Yeah, I like Memphis.
I liked Memphis. I don't like.
I hate the Milwaukee one.
I do not like that
I
one.
hate that
And
one.
so, look, some of the stuff, like, I'll be honest. Let's just talk some of these teams. Some of the teams, you guys got really lazy.
Washington's been. I like Washington's.
I
I
like
like theirs last year too with the white ones, the District of Columbia
Yeah.
ones, and I really like these.
But
two.
I think with some
They
of
did
the,
what Miami did, to your point, in terms of just doing something that works,
Yep.
and then just tweaking it a little bit, changing the color, whatever it was. They went
it
from
dark
white
to
to
light.
black. Beautiful.
Some teams have gotten really lazy, have done nothing, like the Suns. They just did low Suns again, which they've been doing for years as an alternate jersey. So it's not really a city edition jersey.
And by the way, we don't have that many Hispanics in Phoenix, so y'all can stop.
no, there's
We ain't got that many.
No, there's
we ain't
a-
got that
there's a
many.
lot.
They're not in positions of power. I'll tell you that right now.
well, there's a lot. There's a large Mexican community.
And a large Republican community.
Yes, there is. Although they just got a Democratic senator, a governor, I can't remember, but they just got somebody in there, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
The Nets one you and I have talked about.
Oh, boy.
The tribute to
Stop.
Biggie. I'm not gonna go that far. I won't. It's not like that. No. The Nets one, I'm not crazy about as a Brooklynite.
They should have
as
made
a
it white.
Biggie fan.
They should have made it white.
I think you brought that point up to me, and I do think you're right about that. I think white would have made the Coogee on the side that they tried to tribute to Biggie pop more.
Yeah.
I also think the Nets had an opportunity to do some more stuff with the Coogee stuff around the court. They tried, they didn't,
tried, and they
it's something
didn't.
that was not.
They had the Coogee thing, they had the crown thing, and they took it all off. And I don't think you could really tell it was Biggie night. And then this is what pissed me off, because in the first half they were playing all the Biggie songs.
I saw your
Kick in the
tweet on
door,
Yep.
unbelievable, all those things, right? And there's still a bunch of songs that they didn't even get to. The what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. One More Chance,
Juicy,
Juicy. I don't know if they played Juicy during the game.
No Money, No Problem. There's a
But
lot
then
of
in the
stuff they played.
third quarter, I start hearing house music. And then in the fourth quarter, I start hearing rock music. I'm like, fam, I probably heard one Biggie song the entire second half. I was like,
You're going too far with this. Too far.
I was really tight, though. I was really tight.
Yeah, I think that's.
Look, I get it. Biggie had 2 albums. But there are a bunch of other songs that you can use.
Yeah, I also think there's stuff they could use that even surrounded Bad Boy a little bit, like if they played the Benjamins beat or something like that.
They played that. They played the Benjamins. But you know what? I'm not crazy about Biggie's verse in that song, but that's a whole other discussion for another day.
We get that.
I'm not into that.
I like where they were trying to go, and they tried to keep something Brooklyn, although the Nets have done something else. It would take the Nets, as much as I like the Nets, and we've got ties within the organization and all the stuff with people we know there. The teams that do really well with the City Edition jersey have done a really good job with the marketing. And I like the teams that sometimes some of them who realize, this worked for us last year. Let's stick to that.
I didn't like the Nets last year.
I don't even remember. I remember
the Brooklyn Bridge one.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Nah.
I didn't care for it at all. No. This is actually a little bit better.
This is better,
but I think the execution around the night and also maybe in terms of doing something they could have done with the court could have been better. I actually do like what the Knicks did this year, going back to the little blue and orange stripes on the mid-50s style jerseys, but making it black with a straight New York on it.
The Knicks need to bring back their orange jerseys, but that's another.
Yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
I'm so annoyed that they put those away just because they kept losing them.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And as if their franchise ever stopped and think about that and hold themselves up to
something. But back to the Nets,
just
the city jerseys, I think, they could have done that better. I also think that they shouldn't have did a Biggie night on a Saturday. I don't think they should have did that.
Jordan Week could have been better.
And it was random. It's like in November.
Well, I mean, they should have a bunch of them. And I think this is what they should do.
They should have a Biggie night around the time they play whatever's closest to March 9th.
Look,
because they're not going to play in May unless they go deep into the playoffs, and that's not happening.
I agree with that. I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think they did something with a Biggie night last year around March 9th, or was it 2 years ago where I was there? And they did. I think it was 2 years ago. Like Fabulous opened up. I saw it at the game. That game we're talking about, their Biggie night. Joey Badass was there. I saw him. He was sitting like really close to the Nets bench. He didn't perform or anything.
He's been in a few games this year.
Yeah, I saw him.
He's been in a few games this year, and he did perform once at halftime, but it wasn't really him. It was some other dude who's from Manhattan who sings, and Joey Badass just did a verse because he was at a verse on this song, and I'm like, why don't you have Joey Badass perform? Because
from Brooklyn.
We actually know who he is. First of all, the other guy was like popular on Twitter or whatever, but even like the little white kids didn't know what song he was singing in the arena. So
they had no idea.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. All right, before we get out of it, there's one thing we want to talk about, but I'm gonna save that for an extra. That'll be on my frustration with fantasy basketball and fantasy sports this year. We're gonna save that. So we're gonna talk about that. But we're gonna wrap up with an album that just dropped that we had been looking forward to for a long time, all year. I was very excited after the first single this guy had with Kendrick Lamar. Tints, which I think is dope, and I actually love it because my daughter loves this song now too because I've been playing it so much.
I like Tints, but I like Bubbling more, and I wish it was on that.
No, I like Tints more than
Bubbling. I like Bubbling more.
Bubbling, I'm kind of fine.
But Bubbling's more my sound.
Tints is so much more my sound.
You can see that Bubbling's more my sound.
I can see that with you.
That. Yeah.
But Tints is more my sound.
Okay.
And it's just fine.
I like Tints a lot.
Bubbling, I can see how it didn't fit into the sound.
Did we say who we're talking about?
Anderson .Paak. Sorry for those who didn't say. I don't think we said that. People are like, yo, who are they talking about? Anderson .Paak, his album Oxnard, which is where he's from. This ends his beach-themed album series that he has. Started with Venice and then Malibu and then Oxnard.
Is it over? There's not going to be another one?
He said this was the last one.
Okay.
He said this was the last one.
Good.
Which is fine.
Which leads me to believe the next album in 2 years or whatever it is from now could have a very interesting title.
Yeah, I wonder where he's going. He got away from this beach theme.
I wonder if he's going to go to a dark place.
Yeah. Or I don't know.
Go like All Love Lost Joe Budden.
I don't know. But I was thinking about this because I was recently out in L.A. and in Southern California. I was thinking about what other beaches he could have done.
I don't know. I hope not because I like he's one of the artists I like when they're happy. You know what I mean? Certain artists like Joe Budden, you kind of wanted him to be mad and pissed off and emotional in his music because it just made his sound and his music so much better, even though it's a hard listen because you got to be in a certain mood. Anderson .Paak needs to be happy.
Yeah, and so this album, I listened to it. I've given it 2 listens to at the time and gone back through some other songs. What I will say, and I don't like doing this, I really don't like listening to an album and being like, oh, wasn't this of the last album? I hate doing that.
It's hard not to, though, because Nas dealt with this he still deals with this. I would say he dealt with this for the duration of his career, where, that's cool, but it's not Illmatic. That happens when you come out of the gate with maybe the best album ever in his case, but in many cases, just your best album. A lot of times, a lot of people's first album is their best album because their hunger, how bad they want to get out, and things like that.
And sometimes for some artists, it's not.
Yeah.
I think if you listen to Anderson .Paak, I will say, I don't previous album, Malibu, which is his second album, is I do think still overall that's his best work, but that's his second album. I can see the improvement that he had off of Venice. I went back and listened to that, and I was like, that's cool. But
I don't think Kendrick's first album is his best album.
I mean, are we talking about commercial releases, or we're talking?
I'm including Section 80.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I love Section 80.
Yeah,
that's one of my 2 or 3 favorite Kendrick projects.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
But I don't think it's his best
right.
album.
And which also shows you it's very hard to come out and make an Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt, or I don't think
Reasonable Doubt's not Jay's best album.
I mean, I'm fine if people say that, but I think you.
Well,
probably...
no. Like, I don't think it is. Let me say that.
Yeah, but if
arguably, sure.
I'll probably take the Blueprint now.
Yeah.
Over it, but it's right there. It's like you could flip it to me. I don't think Ready to Die is Biggie's best album. You only had 2. I think Life After Death.
You like Life After Death is better? I don't think we've had this discussion. You think Life After Death is better than Ready to Die?
Not even close.
It's
not even close.
Damn, that's an upset.
It's not even close.
I don't think I had Dexter having
not even close,
Life After Death better than Ready to Die.
Not even close. It's not even close.
Not even close.
It really isn't. Anderson .Paak, the album, I was talking about not comparing stuff, and you make a great point about people who have sometimes
hard,
stuff.
Man.
But I like this album. I liked it. There are songs that I really like on this album. There's some songs that I'm just like, and I thought the subject matter for Anderson .Paak and some songs were a little bit or childish.
Yeah, agree.
There were some misses for me. I didn't like how I thought he should have ended the album with the Q-Tip song.
Have the track list up.
I did not care.
Agree with that.
I did not care. I thought that was a perfect song to end the album.
Yeah.
I did not like the last 2 songs on the album with BJ Chicago Kid. I didn't like the other song where he's speaking in patois, Jamaican patois, which I thought this is the second artist this year to do this, and I have not liked it.
Who's the other one?
Lupe
Drake?
did it.
Oh.
And I thought it was awful. And Anderson .Paak did it here too, and I thought he absolutely missed the mark. Guys, everybody, just if you're not around or immersed in that culture, just leave it alone, please. Just leave it alone. I think people should do that for a lot of things.
I was gonna say people should probably do that with a lot of things in New York City, especially food.
Yeah, but leave it alone. But overall, I think there's 14 tracks on this album. I like 9 of the 14 tracks. I would give it probably a 7 out of 10.
I would give it like a 7. On first, I only listened to it.
I listened to it 2 times.
I listened to it full once.
Yes,
but there are some songs that I went back and replayed a few times. Like we agree that the beginning of the album is very strong.
Yes, middle is weak.
Middle is
at the end sounds the last 2 songs.
It gets a little better, but the song with BJ the Chicago Kid. I mean, I like BJ the Chicago Kid a good deal.
But I do too, but I don't like that song.
But yeah, when is he coming out with a project? By the way, I really liked his last album. In my mind, came out 2 years ago. I'm like, bro, this is Anderson .Paak's first album in almost 3 years because Malibu was early 2016.
Yep.
I think that this is obviously not as good as Malibu, but I had Malibu as the album of the year. But I think Oxnard is still a good project.
It's a good
when
project.
we have our year-end hip-hop wrap-up, even though I don't know if you classify him as hip-hop, but when we have our year-end sort of wrap-up, I don't think he's going to be in either of our top 5s.
No. I can say it right now. Now, there's songs on this album I really like. Like, Tints is really good.
Yeah.
6 Summers is really good.
I love The Chase. You said you love Head Low. I also like Head Low a lot.
I like this. Now, one thing I also want to give a strength to this album real quick. The features are very good, especially the rap features we got on here.
Cole.
You got J. Cole. You got Pusha T with a really good verse talking about My Brother's Keeper, which is a really good song.
Very good song.
And him talking about his relationship with Malice, partner and duo from the Clips.
Yeah.
And how Malice turned down $500,000 and how he still respects Malice, but he can't get away from what people somewhat criticize Pusha for, which is consistently doing this coke rap. But he's like, this is kind of what I know, and this is kind of what I've done. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting perspective from Pusha T. He's had a very good year. We'll get to that at our end of the year wrap up.
What did you think of 6 Summers?
That
was a song that I saw getting a lot of love on social media.
I like it because it's a very politically charged song, and I love the beat switch. I think it's really good.
It was weird. It was weird. I like it a lot. I like it a lot, but I'm saying it was weird from Anderson .Paak doing that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
In this way, it's not overly political, and I like how what he kind of like talks about there. There's kind of a little bit of gun reform and gun control that he gets into there at the end. And I think that I just like it. It's a song that kind of the delivery of it comes on weird, but then you get into it, and you're like, oh. And then when the beat switches, it's a really good head knocker. Cole, you mentioned, Really good feature.
He's had a great year.
He's
probably lyricist of the year.
We're going to talk about. I think we're going to pick our rapper of the year in our end of the year episode. And I would say right now, Cole is very much the front spot for me, and I have my reasons why, which I'll get into then.
He is probably my first or second.
He's had an excellent year from his album to his features, which he's absolutely destroyed.
The one on Jeezy's album.
Yeah, which we forgot. That's even though that's late.
I still listen to it.
Yes. His verses recently have just been amazing.
Was that late last year?
Late last year, early this year. I can't remember.
It was earlier this year. Could be right.
That song is really good. I love the song with Q-Tip too. Another good song. Anderson .Paak is really good for having these songs where he has really good beat switches and they flip into two songs, and he did a really good job. Also featured Snoop. How about Snoop on a funky record where he's kind of got the old doggy style flow going, and it's really good.
Yeah, I like when he just kind of gets in his pocket and stays there.
And he was really good at that. Like kind of you heard with him, I know a little bit on Institutionalized with Kendrick. Another song that has Anderson .Paak on it too, which many people don't realize it's him on the hook. But yeah, I like the album. I did like the features on the album. I thought there's some production I was kind of like I didn't really care for. I thought stuff didn't work. I just thought Malibu was a little bit more fluid, but this is a good project. If you don't listen to Anderson .Paak, I would say check it out. I think he's a guy. If you like,
listen to Malibu first.
If you like a little, if you like a little bit of, he's kind of a hybrid of R&B and hip hop. If you like a little bit of funkiness in your music, a lot of guitars, a lot of bass guitar, infused with some hip hop, you're gonna like this. I like his sound. I think Anderson .Paak has a very bright future creatively. So it was good to see him have another project. We'll see what he goes from here. But I think it's a solid project. I'm kind of with you on. We're the same place with a rating, 7 out of 10. 7. It's a solid listen.
But it's still early. I mean, I don't feel like if I sit with it more that a lot's gonna change.
I don't think so.
And honestly, I don't think a lot ever changes too much when you sit with an album that long. I mean, maybe you'll go from an 8 to 8.5, or maybe even 8 to a 9 at most. So I don't think much changes. But with certain artists, you gotta kind of sit with it a little more. 52.
A decent array of people for this.
Oh, it's gonna get very interesting.
I have a feeling where I know you and I think most people may think we should go, but I'm not necessarily sure we're gonna go there.
I don't think we're gonna go there. I'm glad you pointed that out. So episode 52. Let's start. Dexter Coakley.
Yes, because his name is Dexter. No.
I thought you were serious.
No, I'm not.
Brad Miller.
Nope.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. Why you giving a death stare on Brad Miller?
Because I just thought about Shaq.
Former All-Star, no?
And him trying to fight Shaq.
He was. Oh, yeah. Jamal Wilkes.
Nope.
Buck Williams.
Enough respect for Buck Williams. Legendary net player.
Who we both interviewed, I'm pretty sure. I met him.
I have not.
I met him.
I've never met or interviewed Buck Williams.
I interviewed him, but it was for something involving Hill Harper, of all people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Ray Lewis.
Now, this is where I think everybody thinks we're going to go.
And we're not going to go there because 2 knees for Jesus.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't have a soundboard clip for that.
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a good one. All I found was Deezus and Mero talking about him. And it's like, we like Deezus and Mero, but I want the Ray Lewis clip.
Yeah.
To make fun of him. But another time. Patrick Willis.
One of my favorite linebackers in the last probably 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Injuries cut him short, his career short. But so he.
When we got to the 50s, I knew it was going to be a lot of linebackers.
Yep.
Another one of your favorite players, David Harris.
Yeah, one of my favorite Jets. Actually, yeah, we'll have to say that. Yeah.
Clay Matthews.
Another linebacker. Yes, very good. Solid.
Don't care for him.
Yep.
Not don't care for him, but over David Harris? No. Khalil Mack.
Yo. Dude is the beast right now. Like, I know we try to give this to a lot of players. Sometimes current players, but Khalil Mack is so good, man.
Shout out to those small school guys who make it happen at the next level, because he went to the University of Buffalo, and they ain't coming out with linebackers like that dude.
But he is a beast. Shout out to John Gruden for trading him away.
CC Sabathia.
Yo, one of my favorite pitchers all time, extreme gamer. I know he's on the Yankees right now. Some people are going to be like that. But I am a CC fan. I've always been a CC fan. And I root for CC to do well.
My pick, and probably your pick, Yoenis Cespedes.
Yes. And it is my pick.
Yeah,
and I didn't say it for a laugh. I'm not going to say this because we're just a Met fan. I've been a Cespedes fan from the time he defected from Cuba and came here with the A's.
Yeah.
I love Cespedes. I love what Cespedes did for the Mets. I'm a little bit disappointed he hasn't been as healthy the last couple of years. but I love La Potencia.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I will always. He's one of those dudes where I will just always appreciate what he did in terms of he put that lineup,
Yes.
that morbid lineup,
Yes.
before he got there, on his back,
Yes.
in 2015, and then went all the way to the World Series.
I mean, he was fantastic.
They were not supposed to make the playoffs that year.
Yep.
They were like a year away from getting to that point where, okay, maybe now they can contend because their pitching has come along. Guys are a year older. Matt Harvey's better. Noah Syndergaard, Matt Harvey. Remember that guy? And then Yoenis Cespedes, really accelerated that progress, and then they made the World Series that year. It's unfortunate that they haven't been able to get back, but they did have a great 2-year run in 15 and 16 because in 16 they did get back to the playoffs. And I don't think they're terribly far off now. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to spend money, and they don't want to spend money, which keeps them terribly far away.
That's a conversation we're going to try to have with some guests
and
coming up.
we both defend the re-signing of Yoenis Cespedes.
Absolutely. You had to do that.
You had to.
There's no way. Anybody says it's bad, they're out of mind. La Potencia, definitely the pick for this episode.
There you go.
Sorry for you Ray Lewis fans out there who want to tell me he's the greatest linebacker of all time. He also got away with murder, and that's a whole nother thing. And I'm not talking about the show. But, yeah, that's something. People like to gloss over that. That bothers me to some degree, that it gets glossed over. To some degree, it bothers me that it gets glossed over. And not that people can't change. I want to be very clear about what I'm saying right now. But the reason I probably feel strongly about that and it getting glossed over is it gets glossed over. And he's kind of had this thing about, sort of being a leader. And it's interesting how people like to bring up character with certain players, but then we'll ignore it for when it comes to players like Ray Lewis. And then Ray Lewis, of all people, had the nerve last year, I believe this was, to tell Colin Kaepernick how he thought that he should act. And I was like, be humble, sit down.
Look, there's certain guys who align themselves with Fox Sports. That sort of thing kind of happens.
That's very well said. I think that says enough.
We'll just leave it.
We'll just leave it there. Yes, I think that says enough. But I think people, that's a great player. And
they haven't poisoned Shannon Sharp yet.
No,
I will say that much.
We'll say that. But that's it. All right. So hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. A lot to be Thanksgiving of. Hopefully you ate a lot of food. You didn't get too consumed in the commercialism. You actually enjoyed some stuffing, unlike Bryan. And you didn't play too much with something like a soundboard, which seems to be like the best thing Bryan has got before Christmas. And now he's just a little bit too happy about it. And as we are trying to wrap up this episode, he's probably thinking about what's the next sound clip that he can insert into this.
No, I'm good. I'm not doing it.
You don't have like a Ray Lewis, thank you, Jesus, I'm thankful, something like that?
No.
You have something to play like that note?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Well,
I would just like to remind the people. From another episode.
We're sitting here talking about the Yankees and Mets doing something, and if you listen to Mike Francesa, he always says...
I don't. That we don't listen to Mike Francesa.
Well, yeah, also how you disrespected Stan Lee the other day.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just absolutely ridiculous. If you haven't seen that, go look that clip up.
Yeah, and we'll leave it there.
He's out of touch. All right, that's a wrap for episode 52. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and a great holiday season coming up. We definitely enjoyed ours. We hope you did, and obviously take the time to be thankful for everybody that's out there that's important in your life, whether it's family or friends or anybody else. I'm definitely thankful for my co-host. We are thankful for
Likewise.
we are thankful for the Gotham Podcast Studio for allowing us to do what we do. We're also thankful for you, the people out there who listen and watch us.
Downloads.
And everything, your downloads, your support, Patreon, TeePublic, whatever it is, the way you support us.
Yeah.
We appreciate all that. So thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be thankful and just spread a lot of love and food and everything else. And we'll see you guys next episode. That's it for Ain't Hard to Tell Podcast, episode 52. Peace, y'all.